going, everybody? Just gonna do a portrait today. See how quickly I can get this done. As usual, we'll just start off with the gesture and the kind of overall idea of the head we're drawing. I'll have the reference up here somewhere. I'm also, when I'm putting these marks down to mark where like the eyebrow is, and the nose and the brow itself. I'm also thinking of like the direction it's going in. Like it's not I think we tend to we try to make everything that's angled like straight or like completely horizontal or completely vertical. So just to remind yourself to not do that, I suppose. And sometimes, I start off marking down this way as well, but recently I've just been drawing in the nose and going from there. It's the middle, so if I get that done okay, we can measure from there, right? And everything's just a guideline, so I'm not going to be too stressed if it goes off what I marked down first of all. I'm not that well. Like I'll worry about what's called likeness a little bit, but I'm not gonna get too mad. I just kind of want to draw a portrait today and give myself a little bit of time to make some mistakes, And I'll try and make it a little bit like complete looking. I won't leave it as just a sketch, I think. You can see while I'm drawing, I'm kind of just using angles to get where I'm going and kind of trusting that process that I'll get to hopefully some sort of likeness or, at least just a head, That would help. That'd make me feel great. And really try to think of everything as three-dimensional as you draw. And everything like is, we're looking from underneath a little bit in this head. So just remember what you can see and what you need to show and not what you think a nose should look like, I think this is the shadow shape, so let's draw like this. And then I need to get the edge of that eye. First of all, let's get the inside corner. It's not directly straight up from it. I think it's a little bit that way. And then I'll use this corner to go down. And then I think that's where the edge is. Yeah. I'll work with that. And then I'll get the other one, or the other side. Let me make my reference image in front of myself a little bigger. Whoa, that's way too big. Hang on, guys. What happened here? You can't even see what's happening, but whoa, huge reference photo. Right, let's go again. Is it nearly straight across? I think it's nearly straight across. And then I can go like this. And that's that corner of the eye. Okay, that's fine. We'll work with that. Because of the shadow in this image as well, like I can't really tell all the details here, so I'm not gonna stress myself out with them too much. Put little marks down for where I think the eye socket's very clear here. Put little marks down for that. And that eyelid crease. And see here, in the eyebrow, you're getting like there's a shadow here and there's a light here because the eyebrow is like the eyebrow bone is protruding here. You can feel it on yourself. So it's hitting the light, right? It's capturing that light from up here. Let's try find the other side as well. I'm happy enough for where the end of this nose is. Am I? Yeah, it's okay. And then if we go straight up here, we're not gonna find it, but maybe a little bit more in. And then I'm gonna use this corner again to find the other one. Now this should be a bit lower, right? Maybe about the here. I think that will be the inside bit of the eye. Just make your best judgment as you go. And then we'll use the same method to try find the other edge or the other corner. Maybe it's a bit creased. Not creased, curved, but it's okay. And then I'll use it straight across. It's nearly straight across. Just because the angle we're looking at. Maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, that'll be the corner of that eye. Okay. We're going ahead. We're storming ahead. The hardest things really is just to put in the features then. Or like get an idea of where you're placing them. And once you have everything in, you know, you've just got the shading to deal with, putting in some tones. And usually when I draw, I tend to lose some of my placement of stuff, but I don't mind trying to find it again. It gives me an opportunity to maybe make it better. Because naturally I'll have more shapes down on the page, right? Let us find where that head is. That's my corner of the nose, right? So where is here? Okay, and then I think I maybe made this space slightly too big. But I'll continue what I got. And again, just using angles to try to find out where I'm going here. I have to remember this is heading at an angle. There's a slightly downward angle there. And the space between the edge of the head and the eyebrow here is very small. So let's continue on up here. The light outside is changing a bit and going right into my left eye. So I can see less, but we'll be okay. And the furthest edge of the head here I can see in the reference is the cheekbone, so I just need to know that once that's nothing on the head will go outside this, right? That marks down for me. And then I will use just a line and try to find this later where that's going. Maybe I'll use the corner of that lip there. And to where the corner of the jaw is. Maybe that starts turning in there. I'm not exactly confident that, so I'll leave it kind of light for now and I'll come back to it. I'll jump to another bit of the drawing. Let me see where we're going here. Follow that hair. The reference on my screen is quite dark, but I know my phone it wasn't this dark. So I can't really see where the hair is ending and where the jaw begins. I'll make somewhat of a guess. I also remember that, you know, this is turning around. The light's showing you that though, right? It's quite a nice definition of light and shadow on this reference image. This reference image, I probably put it up already, but it's from BC Liston, Bryce Cameron Liston on Patreon. Great references, really good prices as well. So like, if you're looking for good stuff, always go there. It's really nice. But right now, because of my computer screen, I cannot see where this is going. Maybe if I'll live with it for now. And I might try to stand up or like move it around or look at my phone or something later. I'll figure it out. The edge of this jawline is also like we're seeing like the front face. You know, we see where it turns, right? Usually it's just a line and then depending on where you're looking from. Like from above, it's just going to be a line and then it turns straight to the neck. But we're actually seeing the full turn. So just remember to represent that too. I think the neck's about here, right? That means the jaw is going this way. It's not as harsh as what I've drawn it. I think I'll have to change up the edges and to make that a bit softer, right? I don't mind the position I put it in so far. I might need to change it, but for now, I don't think it's too bad. Maybe I need to bring this in more. My space is there. Bam, bam, bam. That's not so bad. Maybe it's this line that's throwing me off. Okay, anyway, to the hair. Just treat the hair as one shape for now. I mean, it's quite dark on the reference, so easier to do. Never go in just drawing those individual hairs. You'll just throw yourself off. I think this also needs to go a bit more. There we go. Let me stand up to see if I can see the neck now. Okay, it's still a bit dark and hard for me to see, but I'll work with what I have drawn. Okay, so we've gotten, I think I'm okay with the placement of everything. There's a little bit of like, she kind of has like a smirk, but not smirk going on. I'm not sure if I'll be able to capture that, but we will follow the process and hopefully it comes to something like that, right? That's too dark for Mark. Right, let us throw in our darks. I think I've gotten most of them kind of already marked out for myself, but we'll continue. Usually also, like if something feels off about your drawing, it all looks a bit too harsh, especially when you're drawing like a younger person or like they're someone with a softer face. Your lines in general, I think, always throw you off because they look really, really harsh. Look a bit older, but it's just you just need to put in some value, and then naturally, like the edge will become softer, right? Let me just. There is like in this light, there is like a kind of a soft overall cast shadow I think I can see here. But if I squint, it's definitely in the lights and not the shadow. So I just need to remember that when I'm drawing. And even like you can see the light under the jawline is just, it's like the light that's reflected off like the skin down here and going into the jaw, or whatever else is in the environment. But if you squint, you know, that's still in the dark, so don't make that too bright. Or like make a mental note for yourself that that's not going to be that bright, right? And now I think we just need to throw in the hair, and then I'll do like an overall value for the rest of the lights, and we can kind of play with the eraser there. And actually there's a little earring, so let's try that. I'm also going to grab my blender later, and that'll help me control the values a bit more. Should maybe be doing this all in the same direction, actually. I can play around with texture later. What is this? This is a HB, so let's try B. Oh well, I'll get the HB in for the rest of it. Hang on. Get the blender out now. See what we can do. Again, usually in this process I lose a lot of drawing, but that's very okay with me. Means we can draw again. But this time we'll draw again and have more information down on the page, so it'll be okay. So I kind of need to choose like one eye that I want the viewer to look at, right? Because if I make both eyes just as contrasty or as strong as the other in both light and dark, I think they'll both be competing a bit. Let me just see something. I have this brush here. Just want to see if it helps. Okay, this is nice for the lights. Kind of softens everything up again, so we can now really play with our hard and soft edges and see what we want, right? This is a, I think it's like some sort of pony hair brush. I got it years ago, but it's pretty good for blending, or just for, yeah, smoothing out. Now, where do we want our dark? Actually, I'll draw in a little bit again, just some of the hair. I think I might have lost that a bit too much. Okay. I think I could go with my eraser now, but and like, you know, bring some of the highlights in, but we'll leave that till later. Let us throw in some of them darks. I think I'll use whatever darks I have right now. Maybe I could become a little darker. Not so much darker. But I don't think I want to make them much darker than what I have right now, right? And I want to use this pencil, or maybe should I use a B? I'll start with this and I'll see what I can do with it, right? Yeah, okay, we should be okay with that. And then I should place in, like, I want this light, this value of dark to be my like reflective light, and also my like lightest parts of the shadow. So anything I'm putting in now is darker. Going a bit slow here because I think this is the time we need to really think about the decisions we're making, right? What we want to really show. You know, of course, it can all be mended. It's fine. Like, you're not gonna. It's just a drawing, right? But it's nice to try to give yourself the little task to try to do it right the first time. You know, when people think about like, oh, I want a style. What kind of style am I gonna have when I'm drawing? I don't think you need to try have a style. You know, it's just about making decisions, and your decisions slowly over time will develop into something personal. You don't try to do it. You learn differently from everybody else, so that will be your style, and it'll be reflected in the decisions you make when you draw. You know, how am I placing down this mark? How dark my value is going to go? What are the relationships between those values going to be? And these can be learned through, like, you know, your own studies, or when you Yeah, like when you study from master copies and all this kind of stuff. You'll grab things that you like, and you'll bring them into your own drawing. And you can probably hear that ambulance or fire truck. No, policeman, um, going by. Sorry about that. Adds to the ambience, I hope. I'll do the same over here. I think I want maybe this eye to be the more prominent one, because this one's fading away from us. Right. Now whether or not I can do that will be seen, I suppose. This is going to be a bit of a harder area. That edge harder. Harder area to draw and harder area edge-wise as well. Represent that with a block of value. I don't think I got the likeness perfect here, but we will live with that. I think I need to bring this in more. Just a little bit, I helped a tiny bit anyway. I can work on the lights a little bit too. Let's try grab in the eraser and see what we can do with that. I think I've done all I can with the darks for now. I kind of want this to be a bit darker too. Where's my eraser? Just a putty eraser. If you heat it up a little bit, it's a bit easier to use too. So we gotta think that the light is heading from the top, so anything on top is gonna be a bit brighter than everything below. You gotta be worried about, well, not worried, you just gotta think about the pressure you're applying with your eraser too, right? Um, the more pressure you apply, the more you'll take off. And it's the same with when you're drawing with charcoal and graphite and stuff. Beware of how much pressure you're applying. It'll really change what you're putting down. Okay, I like that. Let's see what we can do with the pencil again. It was a H. What was I using? HB. I think I'll need to sharpen it a bit. Hang on. Move some stuff out of the way. Can you even see this? No. It's okay. I just use a knife as well on these charcoal sticks because pencils. Just a regular sharpener just won't work. They're too thick and too brittle. Maybe I shouldn't have drawn this over where I'm drawing. Cut this over where I'm drawing, but here we are. Okay, I think I'm back in frame. Let's go, guys. Right, I'm just gonna do very minor touches because honestly, with these kind of drawings, when you spend so long on them, you can go out forever. So let's not do that today because my phone doesn't really like recording for a long time. It's starting to get very hot. I'm not gonna do too much with this side because I kind of like how faded it is a bit. I want to see if I can add some textures. You see me putting out these little marks. I just I just miss a bit of texture in my drawing sometimes, so I try to throw some in. I need a harder eraser if I wanted to do this. Yeah, I need to invest in a harder one. For sure. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. I got a little bit of a smirk in. Not too bad. I wish I had just, you know, one of them like small erasers. Did you ever see them in the shops? They're like mono erasers or something. I'll invest in one of them. That's for sure. Okay. We are going to. We're gonna leave it there, I think. Thank you very much for joining, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video.